One night inside the Warrens' home, every evil they ever faced is unleashed. So far in the Conjuring universe, we've followed Valak in The Nun, watched Annabelle's curse spread, and witnessed the Perron haunting in The Conjuring. But even after that case was closed, the Warrens' work was far from over. Every cursed artifact they collected was sealed inside one room, a place meant to contain evil forever. Now, for the first time, we step inside that room. And when the most dangerous artifact is disturbed, the Warrens' own house becomes the stage for a night of unleashed terror. This is Annabelle Comes Home, explained scene by scene as part of our chronological breakdown of the Conjuring universe. If you missed The Conjuring, check out that video first. The film opens with the Warrens taking Annabelle from the nurses, explaining the doll's true nature before agreeing to bring her home. On the drive, they're rerouted past an accident site, where Lorraine notices a young girl watching from the roadside. Soon after, their car stalls outside a cemetery, and Ed steps out to check the problem. Then, Lorraine hears a girl's voice inside the car, cold, faint, whispering about the doll. Outside, shadowy figures appear in the cemetery, also surrounding Ed. One suddenly shoves him into the road, almost getting him killed by an oncoming truck. Shaken, the driver swears something forced his vehicle toward them. That's when Lorraine realizes the truth. Annabelle isn't just cursed. She's a beacon, a magnet for spirits, drawing evil wherever she goes. The Warrens finally return home and Judy spots their car from her bedroom window, while Father Gordon waits on the porch ready to help. Together they carry Annabelle into the artifact room and set her on a wooden chair, and when Gordon begins the blessing, the atmosphere immediately shifts. Lorraine senses the presence growing stronger, so she insists that the blessing isn't enough. Ed brings out a special case made of chapel glass and reinforced with holy protection, and once Annabelle is locked inside with a warning sign that reads, "Positively do not open," the pressure in the room finally eases. The three of them step out, leaving the doll sealed in silence. Now the events of the movie truly begin. In the morning, Judy sits at the breakfast table while Lorraine comes down the stairs and greets her, and she mentions that Mary Ellen, her babysitter, has already arrived to take her to school. Judy runs upstairs to grab her school bag, while Lorraine checks the newspaper and frowns at another headline dismissing their work. When Ed joins her, he brushes it off. Upstairs, Judy feels uneasy before leaving, so she takes the small crucifix hanging above her bed and tucks it into her bag. At the door, Ed and Lorraine give Mary Ellen instructions before heading out for a case, and they kiss Judy goodbye and promise to be back in the morning. Mary drives Judy to school, and at the gates Judy seems distracted, but insists she's fine. Mary explains she'll stop by the store before picking her up later, and Judy heads inside. Later in the cafeteria, Judy sits quietly reading when the air suddenly feels colder, and across the grounds she notices an old man dressed in black staring at her without moving. She quickly sets the crucifix on the table and pulls her hood up, but when she looks back he has vanished. Meanwhile, Mary Ellen shops at the local store when her friend Daniela approaches and pushes to visit the Warrens' house to see their artifacts, but Mary refuses and warns that the couple would never allow it. As they walk through the aisles, Daniela notices Mary picking up a pack of birthday candles and asks about them. Mary explains that Judy's birthday is coming up and they'll be celebrating it soon. Daniela doesn't back down. She suddenly runs ahead to the cashier's counter where Bob is working and casually strikes up a conversation, asking if he's ever noticed anything strange around the Warrens' home. Quick note, Mary has asthma and uses inhalers. Bob shrugs and says no, while Mary quickly catches up, trying to keep the focus on paying and leaving. As Bob bags their items, Daniela flashes a mischievous grin and looks like she's about to embarrass Mary in front of him. Mary quickly gives in and tells her to stop, finally agreeing to let her come over. Daniela smiles and goes quiet, until Mary grabs the bag and heads for the door. Then she leans toward Bob anyway and blurts out that Mary likes him. Bob looks surprised, while Mary, red-faced, storms off in embarrassment. At school, Judy quietly places her things in her locker when a group of kids surrounds her. Anthony Rios taunts her about her parents' ghost hunting and makes fun of her. Just then Mary Ellen steps in with a firm tone, and the bullies scatter. Judy's only friend nearby apologetically admits she can't come to the birthday party either, explaining that her parents don't want her at the Warrens' house, and she leaves Judy alone. As Judy and Mary walk through the hall, Mary gently asks about the bullying, but Judy begs her not to tell Ed or Lorraine because she doesn't want them worrying. On the way out, they pass a statue of Father Michael Morrissey, the priest whose figure Judy has been seeing all day. Judy's eyes linger on it, and when she turns back she freezes. The old man is standing at the end of the hallway. Mary notices Judy's sudden change and asks if something's wrong, but Judy quickly shakes it off and pretends she didn't see anything. They leave together, and behind them the figure still stands, watching. Later that day, back at the Warren home, Mary and Judy prepare a small birthday cake in the kitchen. The doorbell rings, and Mary wipes her hands to answer it, but when she opens the door, no one is there. Suddenly another bell chimes from behind, and Daniela steps forward. She's let herself in through the back door after no one answered. Judy asks who Daniela is, and Mary reluctantly explains she'll just stay for cake. While Mary goes back to the kitchen, Daniela chats with Judy about the Warrens' things, but Judy explains they're all locked away. That's when Daniela pulls out Judy's birthday gift, a pair of skater shoes. Excited, Judy tries them inside and begs Mary to let her skate outside. Daniela quickly offers to watch the house, and though Mary hesitates, she agrees, warning her not to wander. Daniela nods, but the second they leave, she heads straight for the artifact room. The door is locked, so she whispers for the spirits to let her in, but nothing happens. Then she hears a creak from the study room and follows it. While searching, she finds a framed photo of Jesus on the desk. She sets it down, and behind it are the Warrens' keys. Daniela takes them, unlocks the artifact room, and steps inside. In awe, she explores everything, cursed objects from the Warrens' cases, from the bride's dress to typewriters, touching them all as if daring them to react. She lingers in front of Annabelle's case, staring at the doll's lifeless eyes, before continuing on. At a piano, she sets down a photo of her father and pleads for a sign, but nothing happens. Heartbroken, she puts it away and turns to leave, until a thud makes her stop. She sees that Annabelle is slumped against the glass. Daniela edges closer and, against every warning, unlocks the case and lifts the doll. Instantly, the kitchen alarm blares. The cake is burning. Panicked, she shoves Annabelle back into the chair and runs out, forgetting to lock the case. The glass creaks open, and the doll topples to the floor. With that, Annabelle is free, and the nightmare begins. Upstairs, Daniela struggles to silence the fire alarm just as Mary rushes in to deal with the smoke. The cake is ruined. Daniela asks about Judy, and Mary says she's fine. She liked the shoes but tripped and scraped her knee on the way home. Outside, Daniela finds Judy sitting in the chicken coop, feeding the chickens. She joins her, and Judy asks if she's scared yet. Daniela frowns. Scared of what? Judy explains that while she isn't, the kids at school are, and that's why they make fun of her. The worst of them is Anthony Rios. Daniela stiffens and tells her that he's her brother. Her voice grows heavy as she admits they've had a rough year. Judy gently asks who she lost, and Daniela says it was her father, then asks sharply how Judy knew. Did Mary tell her? But Judy calmly replies that it wasn't Mary. Inside, Mary finishes a phone order when the doorbell starts ringing again and again. She frowns, approaches the door, and hears it banging. She calls out, but there's no answer. Peeking through the peephole, she sees nothing. Then, a child's voice drifts from outside. Is Annabelle there? Mary freezes and asks, who? The voice comes again. Can Annabelle come out to play? Mary unlocks and opens the door, finding a little girl standing on the porch, Annabelle Mullins. Nervously, Mary tells her she has the wrong house. There's no Annabelle here. But the girl tilts her head and whispers, she's right behind you. Mary spins around, but no one's there. When she turns back, the girl is gone, running off with a laugh. Mary slams the door and rushes to the backyard. By the coop, Daniela is opening up about her father, wishing she could see him again. As she speaks, her eyes drift toward the house and freeze. Through the window, she sees him, her father. He turns slowly, then disappears inside. Daniela steps out of the coop and starts walking toward the house. Mary calls after her, asking where she's going, but Daniela mutters she'll be right back, her eyes fixed on the house. Daniela drifts through the house, her steps slow and uneasy as she climbs the stairs. But suddenly, she turns and heads straight back down, moving toward the artifact room like she's being pulled. Mary rushes after her, while Judy lingers upstairs, nervous on the landing. Daniela tugs at the locked door, whispering that she saw something. They step into the study room, but when Mary presses her, Daniela brushes it off, saying to forget it. Upstairs, Judy notices something strange, a faint white figure slipping into one of the rooms. It's the bride. She peeks in and sees Annabelle sitting on a chair. The door creaks shut, and when she pushes it open again, the doll is gone. Instead, she finds a note under the bed that says, "Miss me?" Before she can process it, the crucifix flips upside down and crashes to the floor. The bride drifts past the window, its reflection circling through the mirrors until it stands right in front of her, raising a knife. Judy screams, thrusting the crucifix forward as the entity charges. Her cries send Mary sprinting upstairs. She finds Judy trembling on the floor, clutching the crucifix and whispering prayers. Mary holds her, gently calming her down. When she asks what happened, Judy hesitates, then finally admits she can see things too, just like her mother, Lorraine. Mary's shocked, but tells her softly that not every spirit is bad, just like not every person is bad, and Judy finally relaxes. Meanwhile downstairs, Daniela digs into the Warrens' case files. She shows Mary a photo of a girl who looks eerily like her, a victim of something called the Ferryman. She hands the file over, then keeps searching through the boxes, going deeper into their haunted history. Curious, Mary asks about the coins placed over the eyes in the photos. Just then Judy walks in, calmer now, and explains, those coins were offerings to the Ferryman, so the dead could be guided across. The explanation unsettles Mary, who suggests maybe they should stop digging. But Judy shrugs it off, admitting she sneaks around the case files sometimes too. Daniela jumps in with more questions, asking about a mourner's bracelet. Judy explains it was used to communicate with lost loved ones. Then she brings up the bride, how the cursed wedding dress drives anyone who wears it to kill. Mary nervously asks where it is now, and Daniela blurts out, in the artifact room. Both Mary and Judy snap their heads toward her. Daniela quickly covers, saying Judy herself told them everything dangerous was locked away in there. Then Daniela mentions the doll. Instantly, Judy stiffens. Her voice drops low as she warns Daniela not to even talk about it. Annabelle is locked in that case for a reason. The air grows tense, until Mary finally cuts in, insisting they stop reading creepy files and do something fun instead. In Judy's room, the girls play feely-meely to ease the tension. Mary goes first, but before she can draw, the doorbell rings. Daniela asks Mary if she'll get it herself, and Mary gets up and heads downstairs. The ringing turns to loud banging, startling her. She checks the peephole and it's Bob. Relieved, she opens the door. He says he only stopped by to say hi, not to come in. Just then, the pizza guy arrives. Mary pays him quickly, then turns back to Bob. After a few shy words, she closes the door, hiding a faint blush. Later that night, Judy relaxes in the living room with pizza, watching TV, and hears an Easter egg. The real-life Annabelle doll appears in the TV show. Suddenly, the screen clicks off. She frowns, searches for the remote, and finds it under the couch. But as she reaches, her eyes freeze. Annabelle is lying on the other side, staring back. Judy gasps, peeks over the couch, and the doll is gone. Then the lights snap off. Darkness swallows the room. Judy trembles, calling out for Mary and Daniela. But instead of a spirit, a soft glow appears. Daniela and Mary walk in, holding a cake, singing, "Happy Birthday." Judy exhales with relief, smiling shakily. Later, as Judy gets tucked into bed, she hands Daniela a small invitation to her upcoming birthday party. Daniela accepts it warmly while Mary tidies the room. Then faint music drifts through the window. A guitar strum, a voice. The girls rush to look outside. Under the moonlight, Bob stands in the yard, singing his heart out. Judy grins. Mary smiles too, but then her chest tightens. She needs her inhaler. The problem? It's in her car. The girls head downstairs to grab it while outside Bob strums the last note of his song, looking up for Mary, but the window is empty. A sudden growl makes him turn, and the snarling wolf, aka Black Shuck, lunges from the shadows. Bob yelps and bolts into the night. Seconds later, Mary, Judy, and Daniela rush out, but he's already gone. Mary sighs, tells Judy to go back to bed, and gently hints that Daniela should leave. Daniela asks to stay the night, but Mary softly refuses, thanking her for being with them for the day. Forcing a smile, Daniela understands and Mary heads back inside. Daniela slips her hands in her pocket and realizes that she still has the keys. Unable to knock now, she sneaks quietly to the back and slips inside. Upstairs, Judy asks Mary how Daniela's father died. Mary tells her that it was a car accident, but the heavier truth is that Daniela had been the one driving, and she's carried that guilt ever since. Downstairs, Daniela creeps toward the study room to return the keys when the artifact room door creaks open by itself. Drawn in, she wanders past cursed relics until she notices Annabelle's case is empty. A sudden thud makes her jump as a small box snaps shut behind her. Inside it, she finds the mourner's bracelet. Placing her father's photo inside, she whispers for a sign. The chair beside her begins to rock, and a shadow passes behind her, seemingly her father. The door slams shut, trapping her inside as piano keys echo across the room. Daniela walks over and presses one cautiously as another hand lands beside hers. In the reflection of the piano, her father smiles gently, but when she turns, his face is mutilated and his eyes hollow. His voice twists into a scream, "You're the reason I'm dead." Daniela screams and runs towards the door and pounds on it, begging Mary to open it. Outside, Bob hides in the chicken coop, hugging his knees as snarls and heavy footsteps circle the wood. The boards creak, but he stays still, holding his breath. Inside, Mary sets dishes on the table, then steps away for more. Behind her, a glass slides to the edge and crashes. She frowns, sweeps it up, and then she hears music, only to find the record player spinning by itself. Switching it off, she shakes her head and heads upstairs. In her room, Judy is fast asleep. Mary gently fixes the blankets, unaware that Annabelle is lying right beside her. Since she's never seen the real doll before, she assumes it's just one of Judy's toys, and leaves her there with it. Meanwhile, in the artifact room, Daniela jumps as the old TV flickers on. Her reflection stares back, but seconds ahead, showing her future before it happens. Each glimpse rattles her more than the last. Later, Mary is studying in the living room until another sound lures her into the Warrens' study room. The tape recorder clicks on, playing a case file about the ferryman. Uneasy, she switches it off, then the lights cut out, leaving the house in darkness. With a flashlight in hand, she moves cautiously, and behind her, in the shadows stands a tall, decaying figure, its eyes covered with coins. Mary cautiously walks around the house. Coins clink and roll across the floor, guiding her deeper into the dark. She follows until 2 coins float in the air and drop at her feet. As she bends to pick one up, the ferryman lunges from the dark, corpse-like face inches away. Mary screams and runs, but an unseen force yanks her back. She claws at the doorway, fighting as the figure approaches. She manages to grab her flashlight and shines it directly at him, and instantly, the ferryman vanishes. Gasping, Mary bolts from the room. Upstairs, Judy stirs in her bed as something tugs at her foot. She wakes up and looks around when her blanket shifts and something rises under it. She checks, and lying beneath is the Annabelle doll, staring straight at her. Her eyes widen as Annabelle Mullins bursts from under the blanket, lunging straight at her. Judy screams and hurls the doll across the room. It smashes into a lamp, knocking it over. The lamp flickers, casting colored glows that twist into horrors on the walls. In the green light, Annabelle's shadow sits upright. In yellow, Annabelle Mullins' hunched figure looms. In blue, Annabelle Higgins, also known as Janice, appears with a knife. And in red, towering above them all, the demon Malthus. Judy gasps for air, eyes darting between the shifting shadows, until Malthus explodes into frame behind her, shrieking in her ear. She screams, bolts out of bed, and crashes into Mary at the door. Together, they sprint through the house. At the front door, the handle rattles violently. The back door slams shut too. Trapped, Mary calls Lorraine. At first, her voice brings relief, but then it changes. Dark, wrong. Lorraine asks to speak to Annabelle, insisting the doll wants a soul. Before Mary can respond, every bell in the house starts to ring at once. Meanwhile, in the artifact room, the TV flickers. It shows Daniela answering a phone, when her body seizes and her face is bloodied and screaming. But in reality, she sits crying in the corner as the phone begins to ring. She rises to answer, when Judy and Mary burst in and stop her. The room quakes, cursed objects rattling. Judy realizes the source, it's Annabelle. Daniela breaks down, confessing she only wanted to see her father again, so she opened the case. Judy asks her what else did she touch, and she tells them, she touched everything. The room erupts, objects working on their own, voices shrieking. They run out, and Mary slams the door shut, but she collapses, wheezing from an asthma attack. And her inhaler is in the car. Judy rushes for it, but Daniela insists on going too. Daniela reaches the stairs, when the bride appears behind her. She turns to flee but is stabbed, gasping, and falls. Then she realizes it was just an illusion, then looks up to find the bride in front of her. The specter grabs her, shrieks, and vomits blood into her mouth, forcing possession. Outside, Judy reaches the car, grabs the inhaler, but the door slams shut. Heavy footsteps circle her. The black shuck leaps onto the roof, claws ripping through the metal. Judy screams and scrambles out, when Bob charges in, smashing his guitar into the beast's face. It bursts into smoke but reforms, and Bob flees while Judy races back inside with the inhaler. Mary struggles up the stairs, barely breathing until Judy hands her the inhaler. Once she steadies, Mary asks about Daniela. Then they hear Daniela call out to them from upstairs. Judy stops her, saying it isn't real, she can feel something has a hold of her. Instead, Judy insists they need to find Annabelle. Looking down the hall, Judy sees the same priest she's been noticing at school. He walks off, and Judy follows despite Mary's warnings, telling her, not all ghosts are bad. The priest leads them toward the study room, but blocking the way is a samurai suit of armor. As they approach, the sounds of people speaking Japanese, battles and screams echo around it. The suit's head begins to turn toward Mary. She freezes and then hears Judy mutter something in Japanese. Psycho. She asks what did she say, and Judy simply tells her to hurry up. Inside the study room, Annabelle waits behind a door. Mary tries to get it, but the door locks. From underneath, a card slides out, showing a picture of a key. Mary realizes it's in the Feely-Mealy game. They dig into the box, and Judy pulls the key out. Unlocking the room, they find only darkness until the ferryman's lantern flickers on. Mary goes in while Judy prays outside. Inside, she walks through rows of corpses with coins on their eyes, eventually reaching a dead version of herself holding Annabelle. When she tries to take the doll, the figure screams, and Mary does too. The doll is suddenly thrown out into the hall, and Judy grabs it as Mary screams for her to go. She turns to leave, but Daniela appears, in the bride's dress, possessed and attacking Judy with a knife. Mary tackles her, but Daniela overpowers her, throwing her around, and then ready to kill her. Just then, Judy switches on the projector, playing Ed Warren's exorcism recording. Daniela screams in pain while Mary tells Judy to run. Hands from the Feely-Mealy box grab Judy, but she breaks free and runs with the doll. In the artifact room, she tries to seal Annabelle back in her case, but Malthus appears and stops her, slamming her against the wooden showcases and choking the life out of her. As she tries to reach for a crucifix nearby, Mary charges into the room, but Malthus throws her into the samurai armor. She narrowly avoids being crushed as the mask twists into a snarling face. Meanwhile, Malthus keeps draining Judy until she presses the crucifix to his forehead, burning him and forcing him back. Holding the crucifix, Judy urges Mary to put Annabelle in the case. Mary tries, but the glass won't close. Malthus lunges, the bride approaches, and the ferryman appears with coins clinking all around. Judy prays as Mary struggles, until Daniela, finally freed, rushes in to help. Together they shut the case and lock it, and instantly everything stops. The chaos vanishes into silence. Catching their breath, Daniela asks if it's over. Judy nods, but then Bob runs in, panicked about a werewolf. The girls scream before realizing it's him. Judy tells them that Bob saved her, and Mary smiles at him in admiration. Daniela suggests they talk somewhere else, and the group leaves, the camera lingering on Annabelle sealed inside her case. By morning, Judy, Mary and Daniela sleep in the living room, and Bob looks around the room, until headlights wake Judy and she says that her parents are home. Bob tries to slip out from the back, but first nervously asks Mary if she'll be his date for homecoming, and she accepts. He sneaks away as Mary turns to Daniela and Judy, saying that they will tell Ed and Lorraine everything and step outside to greet them. Later, during Judy's birthday, the Warrens reassure her she'll find people who understand her gifts. Ed promises to deal with Anthony if he ever bothers her again. Soon Mary and Daniela arrive. Daniela tells Judy that she has talked some sense into her brother. Mary asks Ed and Lorraine if her boyfriend can join in too, and Lorraine allows her. Bob comes in, and Ed jokingly calls him by his nickname, Bob's Got Balls. Judy's classmates show up too, even Anthony, who apologizes. Lorraine then takes Daniela into the artifact room, returning her father's photo and telling her he misses her, and she must stop blaming herself. Daniela breaks down, but Lorraine comforts her, even sharing that she once ran away with her boyfriend for 3 days when she was young. Daniela laughs, saying that she unleashed a demon. It's not the same, Lorraine agrees, but gently tells her that making mistakes is part of being young. As they leave, Daniela asks if Ed knows about this boyfriend, and Lorraine proudly admits the boyfriend was Ed all along. Outside, Ed plays guitar as everyone gathers around. The final shot lingers on a warm family photo of Ed, Lorraine, and Judy, and then the real family photo of the Warrens, as the on-screen text pays tribute to Lorraine Warren, who passed away in 2019, the year this movie was released. And with that, Annabelle Comes Home finally closes its terrifying chapter. The evil may have been unleashed, but in the end, Judy is surrounded by the people who love her, Daniela finds peace with her father's memory, and even Mary finally gets her homecoming date with Bob. What began as a night of chaos inside the Warren home ends with laughter, music, and a birthday that Judy will never forget. But as heartwarming as that ending may be, this is the Conjuring Universe, and evil never stays buried forever. The Warrens may have locked Annabelle back in her case, but their work is far from over. Because up next in our chronological journey lies one of their most dangerous cases yet. The Conjuring 2. From the quiet suburbs of England to the infamous Enfield haunting, this next story will push Ed and Lorraine further than ever before, and reveal just how deep their fight against darkness truly goes. So if you've been following this series, make sure you're subscribed, and hit the bell so you don't miss when the next chapter drops. We're only getting deeper into the Conjuring universe from here, and trust me, it's about to get even darker. This was Plot Explained, and I'll see you in the next one.